We all know that CNN has been pushing for a civil war this past year, as they've empowered racists and socialists with their propaganda. Rather than encouraging a pro-American stance, they've constantly spread fake news about Trump and patriots. After what one of their star commentators just said, however, it seems that they've finally sunk to an all-time low. For anyone who didn't hear, a 16-year-old boy was recently the star of attention after a viral video surfaced of him. The boy, who was wearing a MAGA hat at the time, went to a burger joint in Texas, but instead of getting what he ordered, he got a big fat heaping pile of racism and hatred instead. The 30-year-old employee saw his MAGA hat and immediately had a meltdown. He took the boy's hat, threw it away, and then proceeded to pour a drink right in the boy's face. This is the type of behavior that you can expect from leftists nowadays. They're no better than children. What's even worse, however, is how CNN commentator Mark Lamont Hill said in response, rather than empathizing with the 16-year-old boy, and acknowledging that freedom of speech is a right in this country, he actually condoned the abusive employee who attacked a 16-year-old boy. Western Journal, the Conservative Tribune, reports, when a 16-year-old boy was assaulted for wearing a MAGA cap in a Texas Whataburger, allegedly by a 30-year-old man named Kino Jimenez, this probably should have been a cultural moment where we all checked ourselves. After all, this was a teenager, not even an adult, being physically accosted simply for wearing a piece of political regalia. Surely nobody could rationalize this, right? Oh, sorry, forgot this was 2018. That means that everything, up to and including a 16-year-old having his hat stolen and a drink thrown in his face, is fair game. First, there were unverified reports from local San Antonio media, picked up by other news outlets, that the young man had been engaging in racist talk before the attack. Those wonderful unsubstantiated slices of blaming an underage victim seemed to have come from a single witness and were somewhat retracted and heavily qualified by the original source, although other media outlets had no problem repeating what sounds like the same single-source account. Whether or not that's true, however, doesn't matter to some people. In fact, one TMZ reporter thinks that a MAGA hat is reason enough for a 16-year-old to be assaulted, and CNN contributor Mark Lamont Hill thinks that's hysterical. It all began when Van Lathan, currently on the 15 Minutes of Fame clock for his contentious TMZ interview with Kanye West, said he was perfectly happy with anyone wearing the trademark piece of Trump paraphernalia being physically assaulted. Wish I could take the high road. Lathan responded to the original video on July 4th, but your MAGA hat reads like a swastika to me. So yeah, maybe I'm no longer a decent person. Yeah, I'd agree with that last part. Clearly a CNN contributor like Hill wouldn't actually think that was acceptable, right? Well, have you watched CNN lately? If you have, you know that's not out of their wheelhouse. And Hill, who's already been hanging as far outside the CNN wheelhouse as one can get without being tossed overboard, thought this was hysterical. Rather than calling out the abusive 30-year-old employee for being an indecent person, who infringed upon a child's rights, he laughed at how the child was abused. This is the type of behavior that's becoming more and more commonplace from lefties today, folks. They are pushing the breakdown of society, and then have the nerve to claim it's our fault.